All right, God bless everybody. Today the topic is Blueprint Your Believing. Now, if you've ever failed at a diet, not gotten the job you deserved, are still looking for the love of your life, or you just want to find a way to earn a few extra bucks, this teaching is for you. Now, today we're going to learn to blueprint our believing in order to build or rebuild a section of our life. And this is where we map out our believing process by breaking it down into 4 simple steps. A blueprint is a detailed plan of action. It's a method worked out in advance to help us achieve our ultimate objective. It's our business plan, our roadmap, our game plan, our strategy, our life. And when I was a teen, I had a friend who had a hot rod that had its engine blueprinted and balanced. And not only was every similar part the exact same weight and the crankshaft was perfectly balanced, he had a blueprint indicating everything that was done to his car, down to the 100,000ths of an inch. I mean, he was, he had it. And just in case he had to replace a part, he had that blueprint. His engine was crazy smooth and super powerful, just like you. And an additional benefit of blueprinting our believing is that it allows us a system in which we can repeat our believing process in the future. Why invent the wheel every few years? God desires that we have exceeding abundantly above, that we have all sufficiency in all things, that we have prosperity and health, that we can do all things through Christ. Our Father wants us to live our dreams. Now, in order to blueprint our believing, we must understand the 4 D's of design: dream it, discuss it, detail it, and do it. And what will be my dream house or home improvement project look like upon completion? What will my life look like when I increase my education or income? Can I clearly picture myself totally healthy? What exactly will I look like and how will others see me when I lose that weight or get back in shape? Can you see it? So number 1, dream it. First, we need to dream about our ideas. All believing starts with daytime dreaming. 2, discuss it. We need to narrow down. We tailor our dreams by discussing them with God and others. See, goals take the shape of spoken words in the early stages of believing. 3, detail it. After we put the pencil to paper and work out every single detail, we count the cost. Most people skip this step because it takes time and work. You ever heard fail to plan, plan to fail? How about succeed to plan, plan to succeed? You see, remember, you and God are the architects of your own life. And number 4 is do it. Finally, we start building. We do it. See, blueprinted believing helps us repeat our successes. So as we apply these 4 steps, we will absolutely receive. It works for anything in life: job, home, health, love, whatever. And as we master the art of blueprinting our believing, we'll be able to replicate the believing process again and again and again. By dreaming it, discussing it, and detailing our plans, we will be able to do it. We'll be able to believe and receive over and over again. So let's go through these 4 steps to blueprint our believing. Step 1, dream it. Step 1 in blueprinting our believing is dreaming. Now, I'm not talking about those disjointed nighttime REM dreams when you're riding a red bicycle, lost through the puddled alley of your youth, chased by a flock of tail-wagging wiener dogs. And the next thing you know, you're flying through the air over Manhattan with a red cape and a chili dog. I'm talking about those daytime dreams, those dustless, well-crafted visions, those well-rehearsed images we nail down in our minds. I'm talking about those indelible dreams, those mental pictures of what we will absolutely do, what we will have or will become. Quote, all men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. That's T.E. Lawrence. It's a British Army officer, the real Lawrence of Arabia. If that type of dreaming is considered living dangerously, it may be time for all of us to live a little bit dangerously. It's time to envision ourselves what God has already supplied with our eyes open. Quote, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. That's Anatole France, 19th century French poet. Have you dreamed out what you will actually do in your new career? Can you see it? How will you feel? What do you plan to do with all that extra money you've prayed so often about? What's the first thing you're going to do when you get your health back? Can you see it? Where will you go? What will you do? Will it be like, what's it going to be like when the pain's gone or the feeling has come back? What will it be like once again to be able to move like you once did? What will it be like to be able to feel the warm touch of a loved one? What will it be like when the weight's gone and you fit into that outfit you've been eyeballing? Can you envision it? If you can dream it, you can do it. Why else would God have given you that heart's desire? Psalm 21:2. Like Eliot said, but the dreamers of the day act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. Quote, you have to dream before your dreams can come true. That's A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. That's 11th President of India. Quote, reality is wrong. Dreams are for real. That's Tupac Shakur, American rapper. Ecclesiastes 5:3 from the YLT says, for the dream hath come by abundance of busyness, and the voice of a fool by the abundance of words. Now there's two ways to look at this verse. The way most people translate this is to mean that when your life is way too busy, you have unsettled dreams. It also seems to say that a fool does more talking than acting upon his or her dream. I think this can be interpreted into one single positive slant, that our dreams will come true as we talk less and work more. Wasn't this the ethos, the philosophy, the believing mindset of Solomon? Didn't Solomon write the entire book of Ecclesiastes? Wouldn't his chasing down a dream attitude have helped him become the richest man in the world at that time? Sure. Solomon said that if we actually plan on reaching our dreams, we need to turn our talk into action. Quote, the only thing worse than being blind is having no vision. Helen Keller. Quote, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. And here's another one. Quote, imagination rules the world. Napoleon Bonaparte. If you think about it, believing is nothing more than imagination, expectation, and being totally convinced that we already have what does not yet exist. Hebrews 11:1. This is how God designed us, to believe and achieve. We rule our lives by believing, by dreaming, discussing, detailing, and by doing. Proverbs 23:7 from King James says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. The pulpit commentary describes this phrase to say, quote, for as one that calculates with himself, so is he. Now, what do you calculate your worth to be? What do you calculate your wealth to be? What do you calculate your health to be? Well, that's you. That's you. Quote, you are what you think about all day long. Dr. Robert Schuller. James 1:8, King James says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So in order to get stable, consistent results from our dreams or from our vision, we must be able to clarify or clearly focus on exactly what we want. Young's literal translation of James 1:8 says, "A two-souled man is unstable in all his ways." Now, I love that term, two-souled man. It's like having two people stuck in one body fighting over decisions. The devil-angel dichotomy. Once I saw a set of Siamese twins at the carnival, and they were behind a sheet of glass, sitting on the floor in what looked like a living room, and they were watching TV. And they were wearing matching shorts, cowboy boots. They had no shirt on to show where they were connected at the belly. And the sign on the window said they were each married to different women. Now, as a 15-year-old boy, my mind spun wildly trying to picture how each of these guys could, well, make love to his individual wife. More perplexing in my mind was who got to change the TV channel. You see, two people with two minds inhabiting one body. Now that could get very confusing. The same would be true of a builder whose contractors are working off different versions of the same blueprint. One's working off an older set instead of the updated version. Now, being double-minded or double-souled confuses our believing blueprint. It's like thinking highly of ourselves one moment and putting ourselves down the next. Sounds crazy? We've all done it. We all do it. Spoiler alert, successful people do it less. They focus on what they want, not on what they don't want. Like a sharpshooter, you hit what you focus on. You see, before an architect begins any project, before any detailed discussions with investors, before pen touches paper, before she fires up her computer, she will push herself to visualize the basics of her project. She forms her dream internally in the daytime. Step one is to dream clearly about what we want, and then we hang on to that vision for dear life. Sustained thought is one of the hardest things on earth to do. Researchers believe that we absorb 64 gigabytes of information each day. That's enough to clog a student's laptop in weeks. Keep focused on what you want. Keep your vision. Keep clear your goals. Be single-minded. Dream. This takes us to step 2. We discuss it. Dream it, discuss it, design it so we can do it. So, step 2, discuss it. I think I wrote down step 3 there. So, step 2, discuss it. Streamline your dreams with discussion. Now, our dreams are tailored to fit with in-depth discussion. Now, did you know that prayer is a form of discussing things? You see, God already knows what we want, what we need, what's best, but He asks us to ask. Discussing our dreams and desires helps us make them concrete. Discussing our dreams and desires with others also adds the benefit of an accountability buddy. Successful people pay huge sums of money to hire business coaches who hold them accountable to their daily goals. Huge money. Discussion forces us to clarify our dreams. Quote, "All great change in America begins at the dinner table." Ronald Reagan. Discussion shapes our thoughts and sets our believing. Others hold us accountable to the dreams we promised ourselves. Even this great country started in the mind of one person who was dissatisfied with life as the way it was. He then spoke to another about his dream. And the rest is history. You see, dream, discuss, design, and do. It works. Conversation collates our thoughts. Prayer streamlines our dreams. James 4:2 from King James says, "Ye have not because ye ask not." Talk to God and also discuss things with others. Talk about your dreams, your needs, your wants, your desires. Now, we've all heard the saying, talk is cheap. But that's talk that's not followed by action. You see, when we discuss our dreams with an accountability buddy, we realize that talk can be quite valuable. Luke 6:45, King James says, out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaketh. The Message Bible says, your true being brims over into true words and deeds. See, we all talk about what we truly believe. Quote, carve out every word before you let it fall. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Our spoken words are the gas gauge of our believing. The speedometer. Are we empty or are we full of believing? If we actually listen to ourselves, we may be surprised what comes out of our mouths. You see, this is why it's good to have a friend or compatriot to bounce ideas off of. Quote, it's a repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Muhammad Ali. See, Psalm 116:10 from King James says, I believed, therefore I have spoken. Or therefore have I spoken. I had recently bought my first car, which is a big block Chevy. And it was about the size of a boat. And one dark evening, while cruising around some back roads of Texas, my friends and I spotted a field lit up with fireflies. There were millions of them. And we had the bright idea to catch a few of these and release them in my car. We thought, this is going to be a trip. And we found a few jars and cans in the ditch, and we commenced to catch 100 or so. And we got back in the car, shut the doors, rolled up the windows, and shook them out of their containers. But they did nothing. They did nothing. They didn't fly, and they didn't blink. And we discussed what to do in our teenage minds, and how can we get them to light up. And through consensus, we determined that just like in nature, they needed moving air. So we opened the windows a few inches and they all lit up and we laughed like crazy. What we dreamed and discussed happened. You see, so if you want to light up your dreams, we have to discuss it. Proverbs 11:14, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Now the word counsel means to steer, like a steering wheel. That friend, that counselor, and yes, God, He helps you steer. See, the words fall and safety are opposites. The word fall means fail, and the word safety means victory. You see, have you ever failed to lose weight? Maybe we failed because we never told anyone else about our dream weight. Maybe we didn't tell anyone because we really didn't want them holding us to our plan. You see, we didn't like them steering us back onto our dream. You see, the New American Standard Bible says, where there is no guidance, the people fall. But in abundance of counselors, there is victory. If you need advice, get advice. We all need advice. We all need someone to bounce our ideas off of. We all need someone to steer us back to our dreams. Discuss your desire with God and discuss it with others until your direction is crystal clear. See, now we have a clear dream. And now that we've discussed it with our accountability buddy, we're ready for step 3 of our believing blueprint. It's time to design it. We dream it, we discuss it, we design it, and we will do it. So step 3, design it. See, most people give up during this stuff because it's hard work. It's hard work. This is where we, to the best of our ability, think through every detail and write it down or map it out. This is our business plan, our believing blueprint that's going to direct us to finally accomplishing our goal. Now here's an added bonus. Once we've developed our believing blueprint and it's proven effective for us, we can repeat the process. We can repeat the process. I once heard if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. See, how about if you know exactly what you want and exactly how to get there, it's going to happen, right? You see, Luke 14, 28 through 30 from the Message. Is there anyone here who planning to build a new house doesn't first sit down and figure the cost so you'll know if you can complete it? If you only get to the foundation laid and then run out of money, you're going to look pretty foolish. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. He started something and he couldn't finish. You see, I remember being 12 years old, moving back from living in Japan after 3 years. And we moved to a small Texas town. And until my dad found a new career, we had to temporarily stay in an older neighborhood of small, white, wood-framed homes with big porches. And one house on the block looked different. It looked like a roof sitting on the ground. No walls, no windows, no porch, just a roof. And I thought, that's weird. So I asked my dad, what happened? And he said that a tornado took the house and the people didn't have insurance, nor did they have enough money to rebuild the entire house. So they just built a roof over the basement. They didn't count the cost of ownership in Texas. Counting the cost is simply detailing out our believing mind picture. Imagine all the what ifs and picturing all the possible scenarios. The design process is where our believing blueprint really takes shape. Quote, a man's accomplishments in life are the cumulative effects of his attention to detail. John Foster Dulles, who was once Secretary of State. When I was in my 20s, I managed a small structural steel fabrication shop. And I got the job because I knew how to read blueprints. And my boss would hand me a set of prints and I would pore over them. And I had to train my men to select the proper beam, cut it to the exact size, weld any gussets and plates, and drill the holes precisely. And each beam or column would need to be made exactly to the specification detailed on the blueprint, so the building would fit together when erected. Now, one mistake engineered into the plans could be very costly during construction. Quote, opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison. See, blueprint your new job. Calculate how you're going to obtain money for college. Map out a way to make new friends. Design a better you. And allow someone to help you stay on task. Do something every day to improve your health or believing mindset. Or at least design in detail a way to best deal with your situation as you work towards total deliverance. Quote, most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who've kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Dale Carnegie. See, we dream it, discuss it, put in the necessary time and work into designing the life we want to build. And those are the first 3 steps to blueprinting our believing. Like I said before, these steps will work for prosperity, health, business, weight loss, and making supper. You see, only you are the architect of your own life. No one can do this for you, but we all need others to help us. Finally, we put it all together. Now we're ready to do it. So step 4 is do it. If you were paid to sit down and draw up a full set of blueprints for your life, what would you draw? Sometimes life throws us a curve and it affects us. I get it. And for the most part, what you've drawn up so far is what you are today. You see, did you know God drew up a perfect set of blueprints for you long ago? I'm going to add, if your life isn't turn out the way that you want, it will. It absolutely will someday. Now imagine what will happen when your believing vision meshes with His perfect vision for you. Hoo boy! You see, Ephesians 2:10 from the New Living Translation says, "We are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago." You and I are each designed by God to each be a masterpiece, to be His masterpiece. When our believing blueprint matches God's vision for us, there can be no failure. Keep pushing to perfect your personal blueprint. Quote, "In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but through persistence." Chinese proverb. You see, one word of warning. Now, we don't want to spend years detailing out our plan and never getting anything done. You see, just get started. Begin to move on what you've already up to this point worked out, and you will be able to tweak things as you go. Besides the words, there's no perfect plans. God leaves us a lot of room for mistakes. We will make mistakes. We will fail. We will hit roadblocks. We will suffer resistance. Just keep focused on your blueprint for believing and keep growing, keep iterating, keep evolving, keep mutating. If others don't like your blueprint for success, forget about it. Remember, the people who are the closest to us have the ability to hurt us the most. Quote, "A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him." David Brinkley. Quote, "Action is the foundational key to all success." Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso. See, you are the architect of your life. Dream it, discuss it, detail it, and then go do it. We can each hold the blueprint of our own life, or we each hold the blueprints of our own life. So let's build well. You are beautiful. You're amazing. You are designed to be the timeless masterpiece for this world. The universe claps its hands when you live out your dream. Isaiah 55:12. You see, God works in you to will and to do because He wants to do what you want to do. You ever think of that? He wants to enjoy what you want to enjoy. He loves the music you listen to. He wants to listen to the music you listen to. He loves to travel with you. He loves the success that you love. He loves you, and He is the one that gave you the desire of your heart anyway. Psalm 37:4. Like all successful people, let's dream, discuss, and design our desire for a brighter and a healthier life. Then let's get out there and do it. Let's do something about it. Dream it, discuss it, design it, and do it. That's how we blueprint our believing. God bless.